How you doing? This is Madrid International. We're coming to you today from the Oasis Pamper Bar Salon in Emeryville, California. We're about to present to you our new 2011 trend release, Sexy Hair. We have on this side Trapé, Makeup and Hair, Ebony, Extraordinary Hairdresser, Emmeline, who is my personal technician and assistant, and Ariel from Ariel Imaging Studio, phenomenal hairdressers. Collectively today, we're going to display for you our new collection, Sexy Hair. So, in the past, you may have gotten some of our other videos. Let me have that right there. This is last year's collection, short and oh so super sexy. And we also have other video education for you, so please look online, www.madridsinternational.com. Choose your educational video. And get this today, we have 5 new cuts, new color techniques. It's going to take your education to the next level. Live at the Oasis Pamper Bar, Emeryville, California. We're going to be cutting some long hair for our long, sexy hair. This is Jasmine, and you'll see on the video box she has this massive, long, beautiful, curly hair. So we flat iron the hair, so you can actually see the cut as we're beginning to do it. Now this particular haircut is going to be a haircut that's great for ladies that need a haircut and want a haircut, but they don't want to lose their length. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the hair, and we're going to do a lot of interior cutting, but we're going to be able to keep the length, and her husband will probably be happy, or whomever it is that's concerned with this haircut. So the way we're going to begin the cut, we're going to start sectioning the hair. We're going to section from the crown to just behind the ear. And we're going to follow that same line on the opposite side. So this hair is pretty heavy, so we're going to use a clip to hold the hair out of the way. So the good thing for you, and what you don't know, is you're going to be able to get 3 haircuts out of this one head of hair. We're going to cut the hair. We're going to end up in a short bob style, but along the way I'm going to show you a couple of haircuts. Now this haircut again is ideal for the person that has really long hair and she doesn't really want to lose her length. I'm going to adjust the sectioning here for 1 second. She doesn't want to lose her length, but she needs to be able to have some fun with her hair, and she can't have any fun because it's just there. It's just a lot of hair, and it's really not doing anything that she wants done. So this is going to be a section here. And then we have 2 sections on the side. Okay, we're going to start this haircut in the back section. Now you see all of this length. We want to be able to keep length. We want to get rid of some of it, but not all of it. This lady generally wants to keep the hair still really long. So we're going to save the perimeter cut for last. We'll adjust the perimeter. But we're going to do a lot of interior cutting. Now we're going to cut larger amounts of hair. We're not going to take little small sections. We're going to start with a center panel from the crown all the way through to the nape. So in the back section, we're going to start the cut with a 1-inch center panel right here. We're going to take this hair in this center panel. It's an inch section, and we're going to make sure her head is straight up and down, and we're going to comb the hair out from the head form, straight out. As we comb the hair out, we're going to start elevating it and elevating it and elevating it until we get the hair to its highest point. Now that this hair is at its highest point, we're going to bring and we're going to lay our elbow right on the side of her face for support so we can hold this hair tight. Then we're going to extend our fingers to whatever point you want to make that hair. So you see you're going to be able to maintain all of this length. But you'll be able to do what we call interior cutting. Now I want to cut a little more hair. You can make this hair longer. I'm going to take a little more off than that. But we're going to do the same premise. We're going to comb this hair straight out. Now remember, where this hair falls off, you're not going to try to cut that. That's going to be part of the length that we're going to be maintaining. You're going to comb out and up until you get this hair in its most upright position. Position your finger, and then you're going to cut straight down. Notice my elbow is high and I have my elbow secure here. Now I'm going to take the hair and comb it out and up again to secure that positioning, and cut and comb the hair and cut. And as many times as you need to make a subsection is how many times you bring that hair out and up until that complete section is cut. Now you're going to take another 1-inch parting. Guess you better take your pen out first. That'll help. You're going to bring it down. You're going to comb this hair slightly into the previously cut section. So it's not going to come all the way to that stationary line, but it's going to come slightly into that section. You're going to comb it out and up. Out and up. Make sure her head form is straight up and down. Out and up. Out and up. Out and up. And then we're going to secure the hair here. But my arm here again is on the side of her face. My finger position, my elbow is high. I'm going to cut. Then I'm going to comb this hair out and up so I can maintain the guideline that we have. And release. And you see we still have length, and look, we're starting to get rid of that weight in there. The next section, we're going to take this entire section, and again we're going to comb it into the previously cut section. So it's going to move slightly back. You're going to comb out and up, out and up, out and up, out and up, and out and all the way up until you have that hair secure. Again, look at my hand position, look at my finger position. I'm going to cut, then I'm going to comb, keeping that hair taut, and I'm going to cut and comb up and maintain that guideline. You see how the difference in the weight here? A lot of people don't like dealing with long hair, but long hair is really not that difficult. See how easy we can comb through that hair? You see the layers in there? You see the weight on this side, so you can see the difference. And she still has what? All of her length. We started with a center panel. We went to section number 2 and merged it slightly into section 1. Section 3 slightly into section 2. We're going to do the same thing on this side. This is our center panel we've already cut. We're going to use a 1-inch parting for a section on this side. If the hair is too long for you, just use a pin and pin it out of the way. We're going to come down and do the same thing that we did. Out and elevate that hair as you go. Bring that hair up, bring that hair up, bring that hair up to its highest point. Again, look at where my elbow is for security. My finger position is stretched out, and I make the cut. So in the back, we're only doing 5 subsections. So that seems unreal, huh? With all of this hair, just 5 subsections in the back, and that cuts that entire back section. We're going to take this section here, same thing, and we're going to slightly merge it into the previously cut section. You notice every time I comb the hair, I keep the hair taut. I'm keeping some strength on that hair. As I bring this section up to its highest point, there's my guideline right there. Elbow is secure, finger position is up, and cut. There's my guideline, and cut. So I'm going to grab that section again. Coming out and up. So you see, we have that section nice. That's that little piece that I was trying to get. There it is. And see that extension there? You have to keep now the entire back section is cut. Now look at the difference in the shifting there. And you still have maximum length. Isn't that lovely? Thought you'd say that. Okay, we're going to come to the front section now. This is another cut. It's very fast. It's very fluent haircut. Okay, now this area that you're going to cut now is going to be determined by how wide the person's face is. If it's really wide and you don't want it to look really blocky, you're going to use a smaller section. If the hair is more narrow and you want to make it look a little wider and a little heavier, you're going to increase the section a little larger. And I'm going to comb all of this hair forward. I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to choose a length. Keep her hair up. This is previously cut bangs. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to choose a length, and we're going to point cut that hair for texture right there. Now when we let the hair go, by pulling it like that, it's going to be shorter in the middle. You see how it's breaking here? And longer as it goes out. So that's going to set up the guideline for the side sections. Now, with the side section, you're going to take the entire back. You're going to part the hair right in the center. And you're going to comb the entire side all the way forward. Keep her head straight. Don't let her turn her head, just keep it straight. And I know this might be a lot of hair for you to maintain. Where the hair falls away, it's not going to come forward, so you're just going to let it go. Now after you get all this hair forward in this one section, then you're going to choose a length based on what you cut here in the front. Keep her head straight. Hold on to your comb. And you're going to take your shear and you're going to just slide that shear forward, just to break those pieces of hair. So you see you have this nice shorter length of hair now, and it's still moving into this longer hair. Same thing on this side. Start from the center back. You're going to comb this hair forward all the way forward. Keep her head straight. Look at her trying to hide those lipsticks. Woo! Made her smile, huh? Keep the hair straight. Bring the hair forward. Once you get the hair in position, there's your length here from the front, and you're gonna do the same thing. Now we can part it in the center, up here, and we can adjust this line that we just created. Now you can use a razor with this as well, or you can just continue to slide cut that little section. You see how we're breaking the pieces and we're still working down into longer hair. I like to use a razor, but I'm going to just keep slide cutting it for you. Just put your shear here and now. So she has really heavy hair, but that makes it fun. And slide the hair right off. So you see the shape coming in there? And she still has all of the length. So we're going to come back in. Take this section a little lower and slide this section down. So basically we're just blending this area in here so we can have some nice movement. So I have to be careful not to cut too much now because I still want to be able to come in later and cut this really nice bob for you. Okay, so that's the basic shape. So now what you want to do is work on your perimeter line. So your options are, you can converge all of this hair back together. You see how that hair falls away there? Look at how beautiful that is. Look at that. You see how it's falling away on both sides there? That's gorgeous. So you can do your converging technique, choosing a length and remove it, or you may want to continue this same line that we have over the shoulder. So it's endless. You can invert it starting from here and make it come out to keep expansion as it moves over the shoulder. All of those different ways you can do it. What I'm going to do is just get rid of a little bit of the length. I'm just going to pull it together and just get rid of just some of it. Just to break it up a little. So look at how much easier that combs through. Now, if you don't get rid of as much weight, and if you think you still have a little weight on the top, then at this point, after you've adjusted your perimeter, how's that? Still has nice long hair. So wear the hair to either side. So at this point, if you want to keep the hair a little longer, but you can come up to the top. Now because we have this line here that's moving forward, then ideally you can take the front line and bring the hair back here. This is the line from the shorter section, and just kind of, so it has this movement here. But that's the first cut. Now there is a bang on this cut, and what I'm going to do, we have one of our stylists here, and I'm going to show you how to cut the bang for this cut on her hair. It won't be as much expansion, but you'll get a chance to see it because I don't want to cut it here. We want to cut 2 more haircuts for you, okay? So this is Jasmine. This is our first cut. Very fast, very fluent. Look at that nice movement now. And what we're going to do is style it a little bit for you so you can see how that haircut is going to move. You have your nice movement in here, where before you just had long, heavy, weighted hair. You like that? I do too. It's not magic, it's Madrid. Okay, this is Ariel, and I want to show you the bang that we had designed for Jasmine's long cut. So basically the same way that it's coming off her ponytail hairstyle, you're going to comb it with full extension across the face. And then the thing with this bang is you're going to cut it with a razor, but you want to start right in the center with a small section, and you want to pull it down and adjust the length that you want. I always like to start off cutting this bang a little longer than it actually is. I elevate the head and I come in with my razor and I just lightly razor just that first section, okay? Then I work on the outside, from the inside to the outside, using the very tip of the razor. Now you have to keep your finger very secure because you don't want the section to get away from you. And you want to just etch it very slowly, see, as you go out. So it's a heavy, long bang, but you want to make sure you secure that hair. You have to secure it within your finger. You have to hold it very, very tight. And using just the front of the blade, come behind it and work with the expansion as it works out. Okay. Same thing on this side. You want to pick up the next section. You have to secure that bang in that finger really well, and now you have to work from the top this way. Top of the razor. So the heavier you want it, then the more you have to be able to secure that section. Now the good thing is, the reason why I use a razor is because I don't want it to be totally even, but I do want it to have the same form. Now after I've gotten it done with the razor, then I take my shears and I start in the same section again, and I bring the hair out and I move my finger position forward to maintain the length right there of that first piece, because that's my length here. And I come in the top and I remove just that little bit of weight off the top. You see how that kind of bevels the bang some. Then I over direct this. Finger extended all the way to the end. Over direct the entire section now. Make sure you don't overdo it. Keep your, this is expanded all the way out, so you only want to remove weight off the top. That's the whole key. So you can see where it's cut back right here. You can see that on the side. So you see what you're cutting is this. Elevate your finger out to here and just take just the top pieces. So you see how soft that sits over the eyebrow there? You still have that nice form moving out, expanding all the way out. But it's very, very light, very crisp. It's really a nice bang. Oh, you got a big bang for your buck. Now, if it's a little long or something, you can always come in and adjust it according to what you think you want. All right, and it can be moved to either side. So you still have a lot of weight, but now it kind of has a bevel on the front. So that's the bang that we want you to be able to do for that first haircut. All right, power. So let's get ready and get on with her so we can get her back for her second cut. Okay, this is our long cut, and this is Ariel's interpretation of a hairstyle for that particular length. So let's take a look and see how this is working. Very nice. I like the curl movement. So this is one option that you have. And you can see we still have all the length, but now that we got rid of some of that weight in there, you have a lot more room for layering. Very nice. Don't you agree, Ariel? All right, we're back with Jasmine. We saw her first cut, the long cut, and we gave you a nice suggested finish for that cut. Now we're going to move to cut number 2. I'm going to condense the entire back section. And I'm going to take all the hair in between my finger, and I'm going to come right in and remove that hair. Just get rid of all of that length all at one time. I still have that hair very secure between my finger. All right, so we get that bulk out of the way. Okay. We're going to go back with our center panel. Going to start right back in the back of the head form again. Going to bring this hair straight out, keeping her head straight up and down. Going to bring the hair straight out. We're going to choose a length, and where that hair falls away, we're going to let it go, and we're going to come right in and point cut. Now, since the hair has some curl to it already, it's going to have a little bit of expansion but it would be the same thing if it were just on straight hair. Now we're never going to elevate this on top of the crown. We're going to keep the hair below the crown as we make the cut. Now on the last cut we start moving the hair in. This time we're going to move the hair out away from the center section. By bringing it out, we're going to come and push away from here. So we're going to bring the hair out more and point cut because we want the hair to stay shorter in the center, but to still have a lot of volume and movement as it goes out from that point. So we want a nice line. We don't want a straight line. We want a nice textured line. I'm going to come out again and pull the hair out more again. We have a guideline that you can see. And this is another very fluent haircut. It's not going to take you long to do it. By getting rid of that bulk at first, it's what's going to help you. I'm going to bring the hair up and out still, all the way out. Section here, straight out from the back of the head form. Okay, now we want to repeat that same process on this side. So you see how the hair is shorter here and it's pushing forward to create more length and volume on the outside. Now this kind of haircut will be great for straight hair, but it's magnificent for hair that you want to add a little curl to it. This was our center section, so again we don't want to push into the center, but we'll use that center line to maintain our guideline that we have. And we're going to bring the hair out from that center point. There's our guideline right there, and point cut that hair. Yes, you can see I've turned a little bit. Next section is going to still push away from the middle. Last time we were coming into the middle. Now we're going to push away from the middle, keeping maximum expansion. We have an established guideline. As we elevate out, remember we're not going to bring the hair above the crown. And the last section here, still going to expand out. There's your guideline. Make sure we're not getting too long there. So you see the hair is still shorter in the middle, and it was curled, but you can see the kind of movement that you have on both sides here. So we want to take the side section now, and we want to maintain a little more length on the front. So we're going to bring the side sections back now to this cut section that we just did in the back. I'm going to use a straight parting and bring this hair back so we can maintain length going forward. That's our guideline right there. And this is a point cut hairstyle, so you don't have to worry about it being totally precise. It's going to give you more texture and more movement. Let's turn so you can see that. So this hair is going to come back from that vertical line. The whole section is going to come back to the area in the back. And you're going to continue to point cut. Make sure you get any long pieces of hair, even though we don't want a total blunt line. If you have any long pieces of hair, we want to make sure that that's not in your cut. I'm going to take everything from this front section here, bringing it all back to this established line that we have. Make sure your elevation is the same. Incorporate it with some of that back section there. This is good when you have a long comb. You notice my comb is a pretty long hair cutting comb. I actually like them thicker, but I break them all the time. So now I'm using a little thinner one. It's kind of a hard rubber, so it doesn't break. I normally use bone combs, but when you're using heavy hair like this with a bone comb, sometimes it'll break that comb. Okay, so you see what we're doing? We're keeping that length on the front so we can keep movement. We'll come back and get that perimeter line in a moment. We want to do the same thing on this side. Vertical parting. Combing the hair back now to this section here. Let's turn so you can get a good look. Make sure it's straight. See that little point there? That'll make your cut longer. You'll be trying to figure out why it's not flowing well. It's because your elevation was too low. And you can see where it's getting longer. So you're going to bring it up higher and then take that top section out. Okay, next section still. It's going to come back. I make another parting here so I can make sure I get some hair out of that section, because I want this hair to come back to that last section that we cut in the back. So bring it back. I still have an established guideline right there, you see it? So learn how to control larger amounts of hair when you condense cutting like this. It's easier when you're managing to cut a larger amount of hair. Her hair feels like it's naturally denser on this side, over here. So you may have to come back before we finish the cut and adjust the length. I'm going to take it this way, make sure that I'm not getting too long. Okay, that's pretty good. I think we're a little long right here. So I'm going to come back here a little bit. I believe the hair is just more dense in this section. Feels heavier. Okay. Now we're going to still cut another haircut, so I don't want to cut too much off the front again. But I do want to make sure our perimeter line is okay. So I'm going to just split it in the middle. And I'm going to use this section that I cut in the back to set up my guideline for the top. I want to keep it long, so as I elevate this hair, you see this line changes. So as I elevate it to incorporate it to this top section, then depending on the length that I want to do, I can keep this section, this line here, and continue to cut longer or not as long. So I'm going to just take it and just take a little bit of the weight out. Now this cut can be adjusted. I want to keep it a little longer because we still have another cut to do. So I'm going to use straight horizontal partings now. And bring this hair straight up. We're not bringing it all the way inside, we're just bringing it up in the area, more of the side of her head and not so much into the center. I'm going to elevate the entire side now. There it is. Now where the hair falls away, of course, we're just going to let it go. There'll be nothing there for us to cut. And we want to do the same thing on this side. Horizontal parting. Taking this section with the back section. And that's what we want to cut right there. Her hair is definitely more dense on this left side. So by cutting the hair with this much weight, you can actually see your shape start to come in. And since we're cutting the hair with a little bit of volume already because of the curl, it really shows you how much expansion you'll get in the cut. And now the whole side over here, just like the other side. Let's comb that a little better. Comb that knot out. Just comb that whole side up. That's it right there. Okay, so now we want to just define our perimeter line. In the last cut, we brought the hair forward and we slit the hair. You can do this to create your face shape. You can use some razoring to create any kind of movement here. If you want a side bang, there's a couple ways that I do a side bang. I take a kind of a diamond parting up here in the top. And if I want the hair to be longer on whichever side, I comb the hair all the way over to the other side and adjust my finger the way that I want it. And I use my razor and I actually would walk the hair back to the other side, thus taking the weight out here, and then the hair falls right into that side bang shape that you want. That's one of the ways that I like to do it. And the other way is, like I showed you earlier with the razor, I like to use the tip of that razor and converge and start right from the center and work my way out to one side, comb it back up to the center again and work my way out to the other side, leaving the hair, depending on how long you want it. So that way, if she wants to wear it to the left or to the right, she can do it. Or if she wants to wear it with a center part, then it just kind of gives her a nice little oval shape there. So the only thing left with this cut is to define your perimeter line. Remember, we brought it all together and converged it, so you can make that line just a little better now by working your way around. It was pulled to the middle, so it would be longer in the center. I mean, shorter in the center and longer as the hair moves out. So just making sure you got all the little pieces there. All of the little longer pieces. There was a piece left there because we pulled it back. All right, and this side. All right, that's the mid-length cut. And we'll go and get something done to it and bring it back so you can see it. And then we'll move on to our last cut, which would be the bob shape cut. All right, see you in a minute. Oh, we need a little twirl. We need a little twirly twirl. Okay, hold on. Hold on. That's a mid-length. Had a little curl to it already, so we can see some nice movement in there. That's going to be nice. You can flat iron that really well, or you can add a little curl to it. All right, and here's Jasmine. This is her second cut. And you see it works out really well. Just flat ironed. We cut the hair while it had a little curl left to it from our first cut. See, that's very beautiful, very nice haircut. So you should have a lot of fun doing that haircut. It obviously looks well with curl in it, and you can make it a lot more curly or even sleeker. We just add a little bump to the bottom. I think that's very, very pretty. All right, I'm loving it. How about you? Hey, it's Madrid again. How are you? We're continuing our sexy hair tour. Today we're at History in the Making Entertainment in San Leandro, California. So if you ever need any filming done, anything at all with media, make sure you call RAM at History in the Making Entertainment in San Leandro, California. So today we're going to finish up on our video shoots. I'm happy to say that we're in a more calm situation and it's a little more casual, so I can take a little more time to make sure we finish this last cut for you with Jasmine. You remember when we started out, she had very long hair, very voluminous hair, very sexy hair, but we took that hair from that into a lighter layered cut. Remember, we brought the hair all the way up and then we took her to this mid-length cut. Now we're going to take her to a shorter bob haircut. So I'm going to achieve this cut today using clippers, shears, and a razor, okay? And you know I have my famous comb. Don't laugh at my comb. This is a good comb, so we're going to be working it out for you. So stay tuned. Here we go. We're going to start this cut. Let's give her a little spin so you can see the hair. I have a section up in the front. That's just so I can keep this bang area out of the way for now. We're going to come in later, create an asymmetrical bang. So this is going to be a bob. It's going to be a layered bob. We're going to have a little bit of lift here in the back, and it's going to be slightly asymmetrical. It's going to be a little shorter here and a little longer on this side. So we're going to have nice layering and then a very severe line on both sides, okay? So we're going to start with a clipper. Any fast feed clipper will work. Doesn't matter what brand it is, whatever you like, whatever feels comfortable in your hand. This is an Andis that I'm using right now, if it matters. And I'm going to finish up with a fast feed by Oster. Okay, so we're going to start with our fast feed clipper. We're going to comb the hair in a natural fall. I guess before you begin, we should talk about what's happening in the neck area and the density of the hair in here. If the hair is really thin and fine, then you want to be cautious as to how much graduation you put, how much clippering you put in here, so you make sure that you don't go in too tight here when the hairline is really weak. She has a nice strong hairline, really nice neck area. The neck is not as long as in some cases, but she has a nice little area here. I can almost put the whole flat of my hand in there. So I'm going to bring this bob probably right around maybe a ½ inch or so below her hairline. And then so we'll be able to, we can still flat iron it. Or if she wants to wear it natural, because you know she has curly hair. So with that, we want to make sure that the shoulders are nice and even. When a person is sitting in your chair, you want to make sure they're not slumping. Slump for me a little bit. You see how they kind of sit and their shoulders are high and low. So if you make adjustments on people that when they're standing naturally, some people the head tilts a little to the side and then sometimes the shoulder can be lower on one side or the other. So if that happens, you try to always make them hold their head straight and level out the shoulders, and then when you finish your haircut, you wonder why that haircut looks like it's not balanced. It's because they're going to go back to what's natural for their body contouring. So you have to make adaptations for that. So if you notice that one shoulder is higher or one shoulder is lower, that can be a good opportunity to do an asymmetrical cut. If this shoulder is really low and you want to get more drag or more length, make this side longer. But if you want to even out the shoulder where it's higher on this side, then make this side of the haircut shorter and this side a little longer, so that gives them the appearance that they have a nice square shoulder line. If the head area tilts to left or right, the same thing happens. If you cut the haircut even, when she goes back to put her head in position, it's going to look shorter on the right side, longer on the left. So to compensate for that, you want to make your cut slightly shorter on the left side, and then it'll look more even, more balanced when they're wearing it. So make sure you look out for stuff like that when you're doing your haircut. All right, so we're going to start right in the center back. I can pretty much see where that area is. Or if we want to take another look in the back of the head form to make sure we're right in the center back area. So I got a nice visual here because I want the hair to move the same, but I want it to eventually start to drop a little more on the left side. Fast feed clipper, I'm going to take a slow approach. You're not going to come in with this clipper like this. Okay, you see what happens? Okay, so we're going to come in with a nice angle and a very slow approach as we come in to shave this hair. So this haircut, you want it to be a pretty precise haircut, so you just want to take your time. And you can see how it's starting to build up that shaving for you right there. I think this is one of the best ways to cut a bob, especially when you want like some inversion on the bob, or you want it to have some volume in the back where that bob is moving. So you just want to take your time and just continue to work slowly and meticulously, and just remove so much hair at a time. Don't try to go in and gouge it. I just showed you a moment ago what that looks like if you go in too tight, or if you come in with too much pressure with your clipper. This line right here, I'm going to leave this line for now, and I'm going to work under the line because I can bring that line up higher anytime I want. But I want to get this section underneath, moving in the position that I want it to go. I'm looking for a nice feel. I'm looking for some nice weight distribution. I'm looking so that when she moves her head, this bob just swings and swings and swings. So after you cut for a while, make sure you comb the hair back into a natural fall so as you continue to cut, and you can see where you want to come up and change that line up at the top. I'll turn her to the side in a moment and you'll be able to see this silhouette a little better. Now it's always good to have this in a natural fall, that your hair is falling natural. Now I normally cut this haircut with my guest standing up, so I can actually see the shoulder and see the bone structure and stuff like that. So I may just periodically just have her stand up so I can see how the weight of the haircut is working. So you can see how that shape is starting to come in. It's a process. So with this kind of haircut, you want to take a little more time, but you can actually charge a little more money. So you just want to get a rhythm. And you can start to see that shape come in. Now this is a great way to cut weaves too. When you do a full weave and you want to cut it into a bob shape, this is a great way, because you won't be able to see the tracks. You know, sometimes when you come in and you try to cut that and you can see the tracks look like shingles, well, you see this won't let that happen. This is going to smooth that section right out. So you can see we're starting to get some nice movement there. You see the hair is still very, very smooth. Now I'm going to come in. I'm going to take this line at the bottom in a little deeper so I can see that actual bottom shape come in. I like right here, this area works well for me. It's a nice balance. So I'm going to come in and now start removing more of this weight on the bottom. Now as you're cutting, you're always checking for balance too. That's why I go back and I comb through the hair so I can see what the balance of the cut is. Now I'm coming in a little tighter at the bottom. And you can see that shape starting to just kind of rock in there. So we won't worry with this outside line yet. We're going to just keep working on this inside form. Now the angle that you hold this clipper is important too. The clipper is flatter like this, it's going to make it'll make lines in there that may be hard to get out. So your angle always want to be with the clipper blade facing at like a 45-degree angle or so. So you're actually cutting from the highest point into a low point. So that's really important. Okay, now right here we're going to start going a little deeper here. And when this hair is curled up or even worn natural, it's going to maintain that shape right there. It's going to keep that nice beveled feeling. Now you notice I'm pretty close to it. Sometimes you got to get really close in there so you can see how that hair is moving. Okay, I'm going to come up a little higher now. Okay, now this side over here, it's going to be my shorter side, so I'm going to come in and actually come further out on this line over here. This is a lot of fun. This is a great way to cut hair. And it's really interesting in the salon because when people see you cutting and then when they see the result, then of course there are people, that lady that's wearing bobs, then they would want you to do something like this to them as well. Okay, so it's coming a little rounder on this side because this is going to be my short side. So I'm still working with a natural fall. You can see that shape starting to come in there, that nice round feeling. So I guess we'll just call this technique hair shaving, since we're using a clipper. So you can see that shape starting to come in. Turn your head a little bit just so they can see. Turn it. Go ahead, shake it, shake it, shake it. All right. So you can see that movement is going to stay right there. I don't know why she's acting all ashamed. She don't normally act like that. You can't keep her still. So we're going to comb the hair back in the natural fall. Let me turn you a little bit. Okay. And let's come back in here and just keep smoothing this section out. This is going to be my shorter side, so I'm going to work a little higher over here like I told you. Now be prepared to take a good 30-40 minutes on this haircut, maybe even more, maybe up to an hour, because you'll be able to get paid. Now as I move her head forward, I can see how the hair is going to fall here. So now I can see where I may want to change this line a little bit right in here. Now when we get the shape that we want, then we'll go back and we'll refine the perimeter line. So we're not really concerned about what's underneath. We just want to make sure we get the physical shape that we want the hair to be in for the movement that we're looking for. Okay, I move her hair back up. Now her hair had a little curl to it when we were blow drying it, so I'm going to just keep combing it until I get that hair to fall in the best natural fall. Now you notice I'm leaving the line of weight up here because I want this line to be heavy on this, well, to be light on this side, but I want a definite line. Remember I told you we're going to have a really nice line on that side. Okay, I'm liking the way that's feeling already. Okay, so you may have to have her take a break. Go ahead and shake her up and get a nice stretch. When I get ready to come to the other side, I'm going to have her stand up so we can make sure that long side works out. So I'm going to keep working a little bit on this movement right here. Okay, I'm liking the feel of this. I'm getting excited. This is going to be very, very smooth, and when we get ready to flat iron it, or when she wants to wear it in her natural curl, it's going to have great shape. Okay, move your head just a little forward. Good, that's perfect. I'll come up and just take a few of these pieces. I want to keep this nice round feeling, so I'm gonna stand her up in a minute and let her move so I can see how the hair is going to move, and then I'm going to come back in and start refining this cut. Really taking it in the shape. I hope you're enjoying this because it looks great to me. Even from the position where I am, it looks really wonderful. You notice I got to get my head right down in there so I can see this. Okay, let's have her stand up for a second. Let's look at that shape there. Isn't that nice? Isn't that coming out really, really pretty? Yeah, that's gorgeous. She's already a beautiful girl. We're going to make her even more beautiful. Why don't you stand up for me? Move this chair back a little. Now let's actually let her stand up so we can actually see better how the head forms. Now she stands pretty erect. So we would just hope that when we're done, we're still dealing with that same position. But even if she had her head down more, you can see the shape is still there. If she has her hair back more, we still have that nice shape, left or right. So it's gonna be great. Okay, let's hold your head up. Let's get natural, take a little stretch. Yeah, and it's always good to have them keep the legs parted, maybe a foot apart. If they stand too straight, sometimes you can start wavering. So have them just keep the legs open about a good foot. And then the hands can be at the side or just kind of in your waist area here. You know how sometimes you're cutting hair and your clients are sitting in your chair and they got purses and bags and all of this stuff? Well, that actually weights them down, so you can't be able to get a good balance on your cut because they have too much weight. Okay, now I'm looking at this at eye level, so now I can see better where I need to make any adjustments. I'm still combing as I go. Whoops. Now if your clipper starts to get a little warm, you can take your clipper, turn it off, and then I use 2 clippers, or you can just put a little oil on it. This one gives me an even finer line. So you can see that shape is really coming in nicely. This clipper is not going to take as much hair, so it's going to be a little finer cut. Actually, I need to get rid of some more bulk, so we're going to go back with this one. Now you notice I'm cutting inside here and leaving this weight line out. That's where we're going to have that nice straight line over there. Now something else that's important that I noticed, you notice that her hair, the color is lighter on the top and darker on the bottom. So we want to make sure we don't let that, if you have persons with varying hair color, that you don't let that color kind of throw you off. Because the shading is different, it would make you think your cut is off when it's actually not. It's just the shading of the way that color is placed. Now I'm going to come in very deep right here. Can you see? Turn your body, not just your hip. Yeah. Okay. Put your head up a little bit. So you're starting to shake a little too, so. Okay, we're back. So I'm coming in tighter on this side here because this is going to be my short side. And I want to see what that line's going to start looking like. Now if you notice it's starting to rock a little bit, then that might be another good time to stop. Remember, this is not your basic haircut. So in order for them to have this shape, they're going to pay you a little more money for this. So once you get this video home and you practice this haircut on your mannequin, then it's going to add $25, $30, $50, $100, whatever it is you're getting for your haircut. You can double that price with this cut alone. Okay, right back to natural again. So you can see the shape starting to come in more. Okay, we're going to be done with this clipper in just a minute, then we're going to take over with our shears. You ready? Okay. So that's looking pretty good. Let's see. So I'm going to take this drape now, and I'm going to lower it a little bit so I can see her neckline better. I really only have it on her just to keep hair off her clothes, because I also will cut this haircut with just a very, very light smock on so I can see the entire neckline and see all of the hair. So now I can see how that hair is falling on her neck. Bring it up. So now I can see where I may need to make adjustments as well. Yeah, turn around. Yeah, there you go. All right, good. There. Now, finish up this one section here, then we'll move on. Okay, so let's take a look at that so you can see what we've done so far. We've created a nice little beveling shape here. It's asymmetrical. We're going to come back and we're going to get a nice line on this side. So it's going to be a short line side. Even if you wanted to keep it long, you can see once you come in and take a little hair here with your razor or your shears, that will still be a nice line in here. We're going to come around so you can see on our long side where it's actually going to fall really nicely over that shoulder right here. This is going to be a sweet bob. I'm loving it already. All right, so we're going to work on this side a little bit. I'm liking what I feel and what I see in the back. So now I'm going to tilt her head just slightly to this side. And now I want to get the weight out of here because I want this side to be nice and round, just like the other side, so I can keep my asymmetrical form. So I want to come in very lightly, excuse me. We want to come in very lightly underneath here so we can keep that same feeling as we come into this length of hair. Because you know the ear section is right there, so it's going to create a parting and we don't want a major part. I do want to get rid of some of the weight here, because I don't want all of that length. So you see right here where the ear is, you can see where that break right here. So you want to be careful in there to not go very deep. Just take your time so you can keep that nice, still, same softness. You don't want to just jab that hair off like I showed you how this clipper would do. So just lightly. Now let's bring her head back up a little bit so we can get a nice natural form. Comb this hair out from behind the ear. And I'm still taking the hair from the bottom up. I'm starting at the top very light, but I'm removing more hair from the bottom of this section. Continue to comb so you can see how that hair is going to fall. We want to keep it in a natural fall. Try not to get too excited because you're having too much fun and then you go snip, snip. Not cute. Now we're going in a little closer under that ear. And this is going to be that line that we wanted. We said we're going to have a nice hard line there. All right, that's looking good. When we come in and do our layering from the top section in a minute, we'll smooth that top section some. Okay, let's see how that's filling. That's looking pretty sweet to me. Okay, let's work on this side. Then we're going to do our front section and a little bit of layering. And we're going to have a dynamite haircut. Okay, hold your head straight for a second. I have to see it with her head straight up and down so I can make sure that I'm still in line with the movement that I want. Now I have to stand a little more erect myself now to come into this section. Keep your head straight, keep your back straight. Good. Okay, chill just slow. Still relax, I don't want you to be tense, but I just want you to... So you notice I was telling her to keep her back straight right now because I want to make sure that the natural fall on this side works as well as it did on the other side. Perfect. So remember, we're still dealing with that ear. So when you coming into the line here. So you can see where the ear is protruding right here. It lifts that hair out a lot. So we'll have a few little broken pieces on this side, but it'll still work well with the flow. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh, that's starting to look sexy to me. Woo-hoo! You get the double. Woo-hoo! All right, are you having fun yet out there in video land? I know I am. I love creating beautiful shapes, and this shape is just absolutely beautiful. And the thing about a shape like this, I don't care what she does, how the wind blows, her hair is going to always fall right back into this shape. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my clipper. I'm going to come in now with my shears and start to refine the line here in the perimeter. I have just enough movement. You can see, great movement. So now I just want to loosen up some of the hair in this area, and I'm going to do that with my shears and a little bit of point cutting. So let me just check one more time and make sure I'm done with my clipper work. Yeah, it seems like it's moving pretty well. All right, that's going to do it for the clipper. Now we're going to come back with our shear. Okay, so you see we have a great perimeter shape here with our clipper. So now we want to come in with our shears and kind of layer it a little bit. Then we'll come back and refine the perimeter and then adjust the bang. I want to come right in this section where the hair is a little shorter. And I want to bring this section straight out. And I want to do two things. One is I want to come in and just lightly point in here a little bit more just for texture. Then I want to bring it out and lightly take a little bit of that weight at the top. You see, so I get a little more bevel in here. Then I'm going to work my way back, taking some of it that I've used, that I've already cut. Lower first, and then higher to take the round, take some of that square off, get a little round feel. So this is putting a little bit of edge back into the haircut so we can make it a little more modern so the hair will move a little bit better. So light touch here. Very light touch at the top. I'm going to just work my way around the head form. All right, now I'm going to take a little bigger section, but we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to just remove some of the weight. You can use a thinning shear for this as well. So it's going to give this a little more edge to it. A little bit of appeal. So it's just starting to expand a little bit more over there. And as we move to the side here, I'm going to change the direction just slightly. I'm using large pieces of hair. So we don't want to remove any of that weight line. We want to get rid of some of the weight line, but we don't remove a lot of the weight. We still want the weight because we want the hair to still swing when she's moving. We want that hair to move. So this is just a little texturizing. And this side we'll bring all the way back. Now the line here that we want, this area, we're going to elevate this when we get ready to put our bang in so we can make sure it's not too heavy too. It's going to come around. Okay, let's see how this is going to look now. I'm going to bring this bang section in, and I'm going to take this top section out just a little bit so we can see this perimeter. Okay, so this section is going to go pretty short up here. I'm going to start right here by just slide cutting. After I get rid of some of the weight, then I'm going to come back in and give it a definite line. So we still have weight in this side, and this is why we didn't cut that line yet, because we want to make sure that we thin it out. So you see that exposes this line a little more here. So we'll come back and work on that a little bit. And as we come to the other side, we want this to stay longer. So I'm going to take it here, curve my finger, come behind it, and start cutting back this way. So I can keep it longer on this side. And after I do this, I'm going to come back with my razor and then really lighten up that section. It's a guideline right here. Just kind of slide through that here. Bring this section all the way back over. Now we want to get a razor. Just a regular feather razor. Bring this section up. So we're kind of removing some weight still and just making the area a little lighter. She has very heavy hair. So now we're going to start detailing our perimeter till we get down to the weight that we like. So now you can do all of your adjustments and your detailing according to what you feel is going to accentuate your model. I just want to lighten it up until it's just little broken pieces. So I'm going to keep playing with it for a little while till I get what I'm looking for. The detailing is always different for whoever it is. Okay, so now we want to just work a little bit over this eye. I want to expose this eye a little bit more. Take some of the weight out of the top. So by taking the weight out of the top of it, not so much at the bottom, we get a little expansion here, and then hair can still fall heavy. A little adjustment here. Okay, now we're going to just go around the perimeter line and just clean up some of this area on the very bottom. You can use a clipper here as well. Alright, I think that'll do it. Put a I'll leave it a little heavy in the eye. I didn't want it so heavy, but right now it's looking pretty good. So she wants to put a part on it. Can go left or right. I think that's sexy. All right, we're going to come back in a minute with it styled and see how we like it. Now, if it seems a little heavy for some of you, you can always come into the crown, take some of the weight out of here, and that'll decrease some of the weight in the back. But I'm liking the weight here because she'll be able to wear it a lot of different ways, and especially because she has curly hair. We don't want to make it too short, so when she wears her hair curly, it just has a little round shape to it. We want it to still be able to have a nice shape. All right, so that's going to do, so we can still make some adjustments, but I don't want to be playing in it all day. We're going to go and we're going to style it up a little bit. I like the weight line. I like the differences in the lengths. I like the asymmetrical feel, so when she gets ready to flat iron it or curl it, with a curling iron, she'll have a lot of movement. I like the ability that we can change the parting and stuff. And it just looks sexy to me. Sexy hair. It's not magic, it's Madrid. Peace out. All right, this is a finish, a suggested finish on Jasmine's bob. Now, we cut it in a bob, so I just kind of flat ironed it in a bob shape so that you can see the shape. But keep in mind, this hair can be styled, it can be curled, it can have crimps to it. It can be very straight. It doesn't have to have the bevel. You can wear it really textured for a nice textured look. But if you want a nice sophisticated soft bob that has a nice refreshing modern flip to it with your traditional movement, this is the kind of bob for you. So I hope you enjoyed having this. Thank you for having us to come into your homes. Remember, education is first, and at Madrid International, that's what we do.